When we looked at selling our house, I rang the real estate agent who had sold us the house originally, because it was only 2 years after we'd bought the house that we were looking at selling it, and they'd gotten out of the real estate game, and they recommended Glen and Dimity, and you know, we just found them exceptional from the get-go, and that's why we decided to go with them. Glen and Dimity continually surprised me. Just at the lengths they were willing to go to make the sale easy for me. It's obviously the first house or experience I'd ever had selling a property, and I was at the time we were having a little bit of difficulty due to my partner working, you know, and living 6 hours away. So I was trying to sell the house on my own effectively and work full time. And they always kept me informed about how things were going and what was going on, and it is a particularly difficult time to sell a house. So I always felt like I knew where we were at, and we knew how many people were coming through and that sort of thing. Also, you know, being a single male in a house on my own, I had absolutely no idea how to set up a house for sale. And, you know, I said to Dimity, go ahead, you know, whatever you'd like to buy, you know, buy it. She gave me a little budget, and she went out and did all the shopping and just completely turned my house around, made it look amazing. And just things like cleaned out my cupboards and made them look neat, and cleaned up the bookshelf and made it look neat, and all the things that I would never even think about doing. She did for me effectively, and just talked me through it and told me what she was doing, and I was blown away. The service that Glen and Dimity provided was above and beyond what I ever expected from a real estate agent. They kept me informed the whole way through the sale, and given that I'd never sold a house before and had really no idea what I was doing, they made sure that they explained everything clearly, and just kept me involved in it. Made sure I knew how things were going and whether we'd have people through, and what people were looking for in the house, so that we could make some decisions around that. They were always looking at ways we could change the house, like tidy it up a little bit for sale, while not spending a great deal of money. And they just helped out with things like just cleaning the house and mowing the yard and things like that, where if I got busy and just wasn't able to do it, they'd come in and do it for me, and it was just one thing that I didn't have to worry about. I guess the standout feature that Glen Dimity provided was their availability to me. If I needed anything, I could ring them at any time, and they were there to help. When I cleaned the house out and had a bunch of rubbish to take to the dump and I had no way of getting it there, Glen showed up with a trailer. When I was away on camp and I knew the house was going to look a bit rough, the yard got mowed, the house got cleaned. Things like that, where I never expected a real estate agent to do that type of thing as part of their service. And I remember having a conversation with them at one point, just went, guys, this is not your job, what are you doing? And they explained to me, no, that is their job, because that'll help the house sell, and it'll help increase the price that we'll be able to sell it for. And I mean, it was that sort of thing that I just went, wow, I was so happy that we'd made the decision to go with Glen and Dimity. Yeah, absolutely. I'd have no hesitation in recommending Glen and Dimity to anyone who was looking at selling their property. They literally just go above and beyond any other real estate agent that I've come across. And I guess, you know, having not had that experience of dealing with a real estate agent, I think whoever I deal with in the future will have trouble measuring up to the standard that they've set, because they just blew me away in their willingness to support me and provide whatever assistance I needed. Yeah, so obviously being this first sale of a house that I'd ever experienced, I had absolutely no idea what to expect and who to talk to or any of that. So I rang them up and just said, okay, and I would have rung them 10 times in 2 days over that course, where after the house had sold and the contract was being done. And you know, they provided me with recommendations and solicitors that I could go to. And just kept me informed at where the bank was at, where the solicitor was at, what I had to do next, what forms I had to fill out. So just to help me get through that process. And I always felt like if I got a bit lost, or I didn't know what I was doing, or I wasn't sure what I needed to do next, I could just give them a call, and having done it a million times, I'm sure they would just guide me towards the next step.